Yo, what is up everybody? This is Jumpin here, and today I will be bringing you a platinum farming technique. This is going to be using the N7 Demolisher. I know you guys been waiting for this and was very disappointed yesterday because I did not come out with it, but I told you it was going to come out today, so here we go. For the weapon I'm going to be using, I highly recommend a close range godly gun if you're going to try this platinum farming technique. So pretty much shotguns are good. The Piranha, the Claymore, Rigger Carbine, maybe Geth Plasma Shotgun, anything along those lines, just some type of close range weapon. You could also use a lot of different guns. Maybe the new Typhoon would be extremely effective. Just anything along those lines, something that is close range and can wreck. Now here's going to be the build. This is very important for the farming technique. Pretty much for your supply pylon, you're going to want resupply. Power damage. Now this is going to affect your teammates for sure. I don't know, it might affect you as well. But if you stand into your pylon, it's going to give you more power damage, or at least for your teammates. I don't really know. It could be both. And finally, extra grenade, which is extremely important as well, just so that this can give you 2 grenades every 14 seconds. You can always set it up too to get more grenades. All right, now for the arc grenades, you definitely want damage, electrical damage. This will cause tech burst if you combine it with the homing grenades. So that's really cool. And then shield overload. Definitely go for shield overload because there's no point to go for armor damage. You have homing grenades, which are your armor damage. This is for shields and normal enemies. The homing grenades are for bosses. Okay, so this is going to be homing grenades. Like I said, this is mainly for bosses, primarily just for bosses, but definitely go for damage. Fire damage, just to set up fire explosions / just do a lot of extra damage to bosses. And then finally armor damage. This will definitely do a ton of damage to all boss level enemies. So keep that in mind. Alright, now for the N7 Demolisher. Damage and max grenades. This will give you a +2 grenades. And then power damage, just for the extra damage to all your grenades. And then finally power damage. If you don't have a high grenade capacity, you could go for the grenade capacity. It's really up to you. I prefer the damage because I have grenade capacity 5 gear. And also, you're going to leave your fitness at 0, so he will be flimsy. But if you work together in this platinum farming technique, it won't be an issue. Alright, for the equipment, I'm going to be using armor piercing 3, shotgun rail lamp 3, grenade capacity 5. Like I said, this is the most important thing. Hopefully, you guys have this at least 2 or 3. You don't need it at 5, but it is nice if you have it at 5. And then finally, you should definitely use some type of power amp if you have these. You don't really need them if you don't have them, but it still is very effective. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you the gameplay now. This is actually extremely effective. It makes platinum brain dead easy. It really does. One reason why I didn't upload this yesterday is I'm a little bit reluctant to upload this because I know that if this video becomes popular and a lot of you guys like this technique, because this is a very fast and effective technique where most platinum farming techniques are like 30 minutes, well, 35 minutes to 40-minute games depending on your teammates and yourself. This to me is a consistent 25 minutes to 30 minutes. It's Firebase White, so obviously it's Firebase White. It's one of the best farming maps out there, but it's a lot different than you might think. This is pretty much what it is. You set your supply pylons up in this back top area, and by doing that you can stand back to stay totally out of danger. No enemy can shoot you, and you just lob grenades over the edge. Now the only thing that's going to be important is to know where the enemies actually are. You don't want to be wasting grenades, so that's one thing. And if you do run out of grenades and you have your recharge back, you can go in and set it back up and just continuously stand in your teammates and yours supply pylons and just continuously chuck nades. Now this might look stupid easy, stupid boring, but the point of it is that it is stupid easy, and it is boring, but at the same time it's so easy. It makes platinum extremely easy. It's a farming technique. Farming techniques are normally not fun for any RPG. We all know that. And if you've played Firebase White, Geth, Gold, then you might know that it's not fun, it's boring, but a lot of people do it because they want money. So this is the best way to do it. You know, you don't have to beat platinum doing this, but we are going to beat it. But you could just die wave 10 after you get the money. That's just the way it goes. So, and if you, like I said, if you do this consistently, you will constantly get, and I mean constantly constantly be able to do this. Now, the only downside of this is that you really do want the 4 Demolishers if possible. But eventually here, everyone will have the Demolisher, and you might see this a lot. I don't know yet. I don't know if this video is going to be popular. I don't know if people are going to really like this technique, because I know I've heard and read about a couple different techniques. Most of them do contain 1 or 2 Demolishers. I've never seen a technique that just contains 4 Demolishers. Like, I guess people don't think that this works, but it really does. It works very well, because you share the grenades through the box. And where you're standing on this top position, like I said, the enemies cannot shoot you. If they do push up too far, you can always push back. Now, there's a spot in the back. Since my very first Mass Effect gameplay, I've talked about this, and I've showed you like this top area, because I've always liked this top area more than I've ever liked the bottom. I never once ever camped the bottom. I thought that was so stupid. Not saying it wasn't effective, because it was an effective strategy, but I just always thought it was really like boring compared to sitting on the top. When you sit on the top, you can snipe the enemies. You can have more range on the enemies, and the only danger really is when they can come up on you, and that's it. Like, but that's never really an issue if you have like somewhat decent teammates. Where this really doesn't require any skill at all. It really doesn't, guys. I mean, no matter what your skill level is, as long as you have the Demolisher, as long as you have level 20. This is very effective and extremely easy, and by doing this, you should be able to get grenade capacity upgrades for your gear. And once you get your grenade capacity 5, then it's really brain dead easy. Now, would I do this consistently? No. I would not play Platinum like this, because this is just boring to me. But I know a lot of you guys out there you're down to do whatever it takes to win. So if this is something that you would be interested in doing, go for it. Like, you can do this. Randoms would be probably willing to do this, especially if they've seen this video, or if the word of mouth goes around and says, hey, just use 4 Demolishers. I'll show you the strategy. You sit up top. Couple parts of the strategy that actually does matter. The only time you have to leave the area is just like the only time you ever have to leave the other fire-based white strategy. Is during the ejective waves. But as you leave the area, you should do it together if possible. Should definitely do it together, and just try to cover your teammate as best as you can. That's very important. You do want to be able to cover your teammates, and as you can tell, like the grenades in general just wreck the crap out of all the bosses. The homing grenades against armor, just look at that. Like, he just got annihilated, and the arc grenades just wrecked the heck out of the. Now, I thought there was a prime there. That's the only reason why I rocketed it, but I thought there was a prime there, which I wish I would have saved it, because I knew there was going to be a prime there. I should have ran up and just killed this one. But the rockets that you have, now that's also an important part of it. You only want to use your rockets in 2 situations. During the ejective waves for the money, just in case like you might fail, you definitely want to use your rockets during the ejective waves. And then the other time to use your rockets is right here. I'm gonna get smoked a couple times. He is, well, not. It's actually a she. The Demolisher is extremely flimsy without any type of fitness. So keep that in mind. You might die a lot in this process, but it's not that hard. Like, believe me, you're not gonna die as much. You're only gonna die a lot during ejective waves, more than likely, or if you get swarmed. But if you get swarmed, you can use your rockets. So that's what I was talking about. Use your rockets during the ejective waves to get the ejectives done, and also in the later waves when Banshees push up too far. If Banshees do push up on you, it will cause a problem. But you're going to have plenty of rockets. Between the 4 people, especially if most people have 5 rockets, you'll have plenty of rockets to deal with them and not have to worry about them. And you don't always have to rocket the Banshees. Only sometimes when they just get in way too close, you have to go ahead and rocket them to get it done. Alright, so that was the end of Wave 3. As you can tell, we're actually rolling through this very quickly. It's not hard, and it doesn't take that long, because all it takes is just knowing where the enemies are, where they're spawning, and then chucking your grenades. And right there, that's very important as well. And you're gonna see me do that almost every wave, for the most part. And hopefully, if you're doing this with randoms or if you're doing this with a team, you should try to have someone who can communicate somewhat to be able to tell you where the enemies are. You only really need one person to push up and just scope out the area. Like right there, that's what I was doing. I was scoping out the area. I went to go look and see where exactly the enemy spawned. Did they spawn in the back? Did they spawn in like that bottom room? That way, when we are sitting further back so we don't get shot at all, we can chuck our grenades in that general direction, and because the arc grenades have so much radius, it will pretty much hit them no matter what. Once they push up to like that little below the ladder area, there's a wall right now I'm chucking my grenades at. That is exactly where you would want to throw your grenades if possible to hit all the enemies down there, because they're going to build up down there. And the beautiful part about this is because they have to come up the ladder, mainly the phantoms and such. Sometimes they might not, like right there's a phantom coming up from the staircase. But if they do come up the ladder, if they have no shields, or if you hit them with an arc grenade, they will take maximum damage. There's no way they can block out the damage. And one claymore shot normally will kill. And as you can tell, I don't even have to shoot my gun at all, really. The gun is there just to help you do a lot of damage to boss enemies when they do push up too far. Because you can mix it up, you know, you can shoot your homing grenades like right here and shoot your gun and just kill boss level enemies extremely quickly. Especially if you have like 4 claymores on your team. That's extremely effective. But that's one reason why you don't need any gun for real. Because you only need close range guns for just in case they get into the close range area. Which they will. So once again, just like last round, I ran up, I spotted where the enemy spawned, I told my teammates where to throw the grenades, and they did that. Now, even if I didn't have a mic and I was just chucking my grenades in a certain direction, most people might pick up on that and be like, okay, well that's probably where the enemies are around that area, either the very back or the middle or below the ladder, something along those lines. So like I said, overall though, this strategy is it's very effective. Is it fun? Not so much. It's not for me. Like I said, I am a person that when I come out with platinum gameplays, which from this point on, since this is my last new DLC person I'm doing, the Demolisher is the last one. From this point on, I will be doing a ton, and I mean a ton of platinum gameplays, using a lot of different classes, using some new ones, using some old ones, and just showing you just gameplays on them and giving you strategies for running around and having fun and not camping. Platinum it seems like what most people is nothing but camping, and that's really not that fun. But it really becomes that way for you guys if you don't have teammates or if you don't have people to do this with, like, to be honest. Like, you don't trust in the fact that people can run around and kill things. So when you're like that, or you don't trust in the fact that people can run around and help you kill things, when it's like that, you almost have to like rely on just sitting back and have everyone work together. Like, you force them to work together because you're not going to help them if they run off on their own. Alright, right there is another strategy that you should definitely exploit. It might extend your time a little bit doing that, but what you can do is that when it says last enemy remaining, if it ever pops up, last enemy remaining, it's more than likely it's going to be a boss level enemy. There's so many boss level enemies on platinum. The best thing to do is to just say, let's restock real quick, and everybody throw out your pylons a couple times, or just sit, just throw them out, and everyone can get a lot of their grenades back. And then by the time the next wave starts, everyone has maximum grenades and ready to go. So that's pretty much the idea. And everyone should definitely help out on the objectives as possible. A lot of you guys like be hating on the fact that I don't be doing the objective sometimes. But most of the time, like in the last, especially in all the new DLC videos, if we're not doing the objective, we're all not doing the objective. It's on purpose. It's not for like I'm being just selfish. The whole team is being selfish for the sake of the video. Like, just doing the objective is whatever. Like, as long as it gets done, that's all that matters. And on any time that, if there's ever a time where I have to do the objective, I will definitely do the objective. Like, that's no problem to me. And when I play casual, I do the objective, like, all the time. I just, for video's sake, I don't really find it be entertaining to watch me carry some pizza, or to watch me, I don't know, like deactivate a device or something along those lines. That stops action. That like makes it so it isn't. It's not. I personally don't think that would be entertaining to watch. And I think there's a lot of people out there who would agree with me. So that's pretty much all I wanted to tell you guys. But anyway, yeah. So this is, I believe, wave 7. The later waves, it really does start to get like crazy. One thing, by the way, I do want to say I forgot to mention. when you start this, the faction you should play against originally is Geth. Yes, it's going to be start off as Geth. The reason why is just because you really don't want to be having to deal with Phantoms and Banshees early on. When the secondary faction comes in, normally at wave 3, the secondary faction comes in. It's random. It could be Cerberus, it could be Reapers. Now, if it's Reapers, that's going to pose a little bit of a problem, because early on, you really don't want to have to face too many Banshees, because like I said, if they come in too early, like, you're going to have to potentially rocket a couple of them, wasting some rockets. And that is something that I wouldn't screw you over more likely, because there's plenty of rockets to deal with Banshees that just get too close. But it will maybe prolong the game just a little bit, where it's better just to start off against Geth and then take out Banshees as they come in the later waves, like this wave. Because from this point on, there will be Banshees. And right there, like, as you can tell, you don't have to rocket Banshees every single time. If you have the grenades, and the Banshee doesn't decide to eat like 1 billion damage, because sometimes they do for some reason, like especially with the homing grenades. The homing grenades sometimes just, they don't do like any damage to the Banshees. Like, they'll wreck the primes, they'll wreck the atlases, they'll wreck every enemy, every boss level enemy, but Banshees not so much. Like right here, it's somewhat of an example. Not really. I guess we were wrecking her, but like, you know, like, and you will die doing this. Don't think that you're not going to die. You will die somewhat, but in this back position where we are now, that is the oh shit spot. That's what I was talking about earlier. That is the oh shit spot. When you ever feel like the shit has hit the fan and it makes you say, oh shit, go back to that spot and you'll be okay. That's a better position to like stay further back and have some cover, because there's multiple cover back there to sit behind walls and such, just to get your shields back, just to poke out and shoot and things like that. So keep that in mind. That is important. So like it's really awesome to look at all these homing grenades hit her, but like right there, look at all the homing grenades hit her. Like, and she's just is eating the damage. I don't really know why. It's just insane to me, but yeah, she was hit by about 10, 12 homing grenades and took like no damage. So that's really insanity. And here's another thing too, guys. If you ever all go down, because that might happen, you don't know. Like, maybe a rocket or a Atlas's shot will take you all down, or a warp will take you all down, or the Banshee's shockwave attack will take you all down. If that happens, everybody should get up. It's just that simple. Everybody should get up. It resets what just happened. It makes it so it makes it so it feels like it never even happened. So keep that in mind. That is another important thing to try to keep in mind when you're doing this. There's a lot of things about this that you have to remember. The most important thing is to sit in this back area somewhat. Have someone, or have everyone if you want, or take a look for yourself if you're playing with randoms, to where the enemies are. Alright, here's going to be, like, this is going to be the first Banshee that I believe we're going to go ahead and rocket. Just because she pushed up too quick, and I didn't have any grenades for real, and if I didn't have that many grenades, I think a lot of us didn't have that many grenades. But anyway, here's another one. Once again, probably going to have to rocket her, just because she's too close. When she's that close, she's just way too close. Alright, but anyway, like I was saying, a couple important things that you need to remember. I've already said most of these. I will repeat them because I do believe that they are important. The first thing, someone should definitely, or you should definitely take a look to see where the enemies are. Run back to your spot, stand in the pylon so you get the power damage increase, and then chuck your grenades according to where the enemies actually are. That is important right there. I'm gonna rocket the Banshee. That is actually very important, just so that you're not wasting grenades. You're not just chucking them in random locations and not hitting anything. You want to be you want to know where the big spawn was, so that when you chuck your grenades, you or some of your teammates will kill the enemies that spawn there. That's important. The other thing is to play with the 4 Demolishers, of course. Sit in like this little area. If you get pushed back, you can always push back to this like area I'm in now. Use close range weapons like the Claymore or any type of other shotgun. The Typhoon would be a good example as well. something that you can just annihilate enemies at close range, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like besides that, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. That's just the way it goes. Like that's the strategy. Now let me go ahead and talk a little bit about the Demolisher. Oh, and one other thing I do want to say. Don't forget you have thermal packs. If you do totally run out of grenades and you can't get any grenades, just use the thermal pack. And I've already used 3 in this gameplay, but I believe at wave 11 I'm going to still have 2. So, that says a lot. That does say a lot. Just this strategy really will keep you stocked up on grenades. You won't have to necessarily use up all your thermal packs, but you might have to. I don't know. It's really how you feel about it. But anyway, so let me go ahead and talk about the Demolisher a little bit, about how I actually feel about the N7 Demolisher. Now, besides this strategy, in general, I'm really not that big of a fan of the Demolisher. Like, I do think this strategy is good. I do think that for platinum and camping and such, the Demolisher is really necessary if you're going to try to camp. But on a normal team, and especially one that's running around, I don't really like the Demolisher that much. Now, I do think that if someone wanted to play as the Demolishers and used grenades, and if someone else on your team was also going to use grenades, then yeah, like that is something that will also help a lot. It actually makes it so that if you do that, it actually makes it so that you don't actually have to fight over grenades. That's so annoying, or it used to be really annoying, when you would have you and another guy on your team both have grenades and you would have to fight over them. And it really came down to who got to the ammo boxes first, and some people honestly are better at running to ammo boxes than other people, to be honest. And some people are douchey. Even if you say, hey man, I got some grenades, like, can I get some grenades? They wouldn't even let you get the grenades. They would make sure you couldn't get grenades. That was like their goal. At least that's how I felt. And I don't even play with randoms. So just keep that in mind. Anyway, so the Demolisher is really nice for that. If you're trying to use grenades and someone on your team is, just play as the Demolisher, and then you'll be able to get all your grenades back anytime you want. And it will help out a lot. So that is very nice that is something that that they put her into the game, the Demolisher into the game, for like reasons of that. Now, also it is helpful to have the supply thing for your teammates just to get ammo. It's really nice, like if if there's a Demolisher on your team and you're running around with a gun like the Cerberus Harrier, which we all know runs out of ammo in like 2 seconds. It's really nice to be able to just run through the supply thing, and you're like, oh hey, this is nice, this is here, this is helpful. I can actually stand in this and get ammo as I shoot my Cerberus Harrier. So that's really awesome. Now right here, this is gonna be the last enemy, and once again, like I said, we're going to set up our box. I actually have max grenades right now, or I almost have max grenades, but you should always set up your boxes a little bit just for your teammates. To help them out, to help them get the grenades back, and for yourself to get the grenades back and such. But like I said, overall, the Demolisher, I like it. I think it's a good idea. I think that it's really here for platinum. That's the reason why they put it in. It's mainly for platinum. But would I play as the Demolisher outside of doing a strategy like this? Not really. Like if you build it like this where you have no fitness, it's just really annoying. Now right here we got really lucky. We got targets. Now I actually kind of believe it feels this way. I haven't played platinum a ton, but it really does feel like when I play platinum, there's like a 90% chance of getting targets for wave 10, which is amazing. And I think that's something they might have done on purpose. Made it so that targets are normally wave 10. I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that to me at least, because I've played like at least 15 games of platinum total. That's about it. Like I haven't played too many yet because I've been getting all these gameplays for you guys. But I have played enough to the point where it just feels like almost every time I've played it, I have gotten targets. Not every single time, but the big majority of the time, I feel like I've only gotten targets. So that's the thing. I don't know. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong or not, or if you feel the same way if you play platinum. All right, but yeah, we just kill all the targets. Targets are so easy, and like I said, if you do this strategy, you won't have to actually use up a lot of your rockets. So at the final wave, you're still going to have rockets. I mean, even at wave 11, you will probably still have rockets. Which I'm sure that if you're doing this as a farming technique, if you're doing this just to get money, then you're probably just going to want to die after wave 10. There's no point to finish it unless you wanted the experience, which I highly don't recommend playing Platinum not level 20. Now, a good example is I'm actually not level 20 in this gameplay. Even though I showed you a level 20 engineer, I got the level 20, and then I got the level 20 playing this gameplay, and then I recorded the build after the fact. So I'm only level 19 in this gameplay. The only thing I didn't have was the last level of homing grenades. That's like the last thing I would probably go for, just because the arc grenades are very important. The max grenades, the power damage, to me, I think that's more important than the actual the boss killing grenades, because you'll have teammates potentially doing this with you. And if you're going to try to complete this, if you're going to try to just beat Platinum because you just want to beat Platinum for the sake of beating it, then like I said, it's nice because you will more likely have rockets at the end, and that will definitely help you out in general. All right, so every time these Banshees come up, it's just all about blow them up. Just blow them up, get them out your face, especially when there's 2 Banshees coming at you. That's very important. And what's unfortunate is sometimes like one will push up way closer than the other one, and you'll only be able to rocket one of them. And that does happen. But like I said, if you follow my technique, you start against Geff, and sometimes you'll get Banshees earlier than you will like in this gameplay, but sometimes you won't. So either way, it's really whatever. Like believe me, I have never once now failed doing this. I've done this about 5 times total. Just practicing this, seeing if like this worked very well for Platinum. And when we did this, every time we did it, I was like, wow, okay, this works really well. And we never once failed. So, and like I said, it just requires like no skill, honestly, to do this. It really does. It's just lobbing grenades and just setting down buckets and stuff. Now, unfortunate right there, my teammate Mike is going to go down, and he doesn't have any meta gels. So, yeah, he's screwed. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Alright, guys. Like I said, I really hope you enjoyed the Platinum farming technique. This has been the N7 Demolisher. Definitely great for Platinum. Definitely great for doing a technique like this. Overall, though, would I use it in casual games like of me just running around? Probably not, but that's just me. I'm just not a big fan of, like, grenade spamming and grenade whoring. So, like I said, that's just me. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Please subscribe to me if you want to see all Platinum gameplays from this point on. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. So, you have a nice day.